everyone. Tommy Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. Hope things are okay where you are. Hope you're in a nice, comfortable spot to sit down and relax and listen. Please, if you have questions, call in. The number is 347 945-7207. Please, questions, answers, either way. TJ should be joining us shortly. We'll see if that happens. So, the title for today, I go through moods. I go through different things in my mind, and I'm going to change it a little up to a more positive attitude ideas, I think. It depends how you look at it. Understanding, going into about the word love. First question, do you understand love? Question mark. Are you in love really? Question mark. Who are you in love with? Question mark. Why are you in love? Question mark. All right, just some of the things we're going to go into. We're going to start simple, get into maybe a little more complex as we move into this. But the first question, do you understand love? What does love mean to you? You can look up the definition, which is a man-made definition. How do you feel when you're in love? What's it relate to? What does it not relate to? Well, all those things are critical in a lot of different ways because each one of them actually helps you understand who you are. All right, thank you for that. I'm glad the audio is good. Hopefully it stays that way. Let's see how soon TJ calls in. All right. The first question, do you understand love? What is love? What does it really mean? To who? We're programmed what love means when we're little. Your parents will say, I love you. And that's supposed to give you the beginning idea of what love is. Someone saying they love you. Words are words. The old saying, words are words until they add up to something. It was a native phrase taken from an elder. But it's true. You can say I love you to anybody, everything, anything. Do you get love back? Does it say anything back to you? Does it feel anything when you say it? If somebody doesn't love you and you tell them you love them, it doesn't affect them the same way. Whereas if somebody loves you and you say you love them, it gets magnified and comes back in different ways. The word love is a simple little four-letter word. And sometimes it could be a great thing, sometimes it could be a very sad thing. I'm going to try to go into that aspect of it because we have to deal with all levels of love. I mean, sometimes it comes, sometimes it goes, sometimes we never get it, sometimes we get too much of it. You never can get too much of one thing. That's what somebody said, but that's not true either. And we'll dive into that. So, when we talk about love and understanding it, we're each going to get our own idea. Now, to believe Jesus came into this world to teach love is one concept by certain people. Where they got the concept from, I have no clue. From my experience being there and everything else, he showed it. It wasn't a big thing because women were always downplayed all through history as far back as you can go. Yes, there was a few female gods in history, but how many male gods? So when we talk about love and power in the physical world, who's teaching them that? Adam and Eve, who taught them love? Did they understand love? Did they know love? Well, if you imagine you and a woman on this planet, you're the only two on this planet. What do you decide? Do you decide you love her and then make love, or you just try to have sex? What do you do? Since she's the only one and you're the only, if you believe the story, I'm just taking it to the max of an idea. Well, how did love get created? the conditioning and the programming with that phrase, how God created Eve, is incredibly ridiculous. But I think that's been the stigma that went through history that man has accepted. Why, in man's subconscious mind, they think they're better than women. Most men, I mean, there's some men that totally disagree with that like I do, but most men think they're better. Not better for certain things, but better in general. It's more based on man's ego than woman's ego. This planet, the laws, and everything else. Please tell me, like, if all women were in politics and presidents and all those places, do you think we would be blowing each other up and all these other things that are happening? I don't think so. But we are not in that space. We're in a space where man runs the world, thinks he owns the world, thinks he can do whatever he wants to whatever race he wants. I just read an article about being prejudiced. I mean, not that it has anything to do with love, but if you love everybody the same, you wouldn't be prejudiced. But what makes you love a person? We're going to go into that. Why would you love a person, and why do you have to love a person? And if you don't, what are you supposed to do? What can you do to be away from that? All right. Are you right now in love? With who and with what? Your wife, your husband, your cat, your dog, your hamster, your bird? What are you in love with? Your house, your car? Do all those things receive love? Think about it. Do you love your car? Do you love your shoes? Do you love your pants? What do you love? Well, I like this shirt. Like, versus them saying love it. Well, I really love this shirt. Again, the word is just a four-letter word, meaning whatever we want to give it. Good, better, and different. How much feelings and emotion goes into it? Comes out of your physical remote actions and reactions to the energy around it. So, when we say we really are in love, what are we really in love with? So, let's take whoever's out there listening, take out a piece of paper and write it down. How many things you're in love with right now? What's really your love? Your children, your cat, your husband, your wife. Do you mention solid objects, inanimate objects? Do you? I'm not saying you can't love them. I'm just saying some people rather love a cat than a man or a woman. Rather love a dog than any child. I mean, people have prejudices to life, to love. But we can't be prejudiced. That's not a word we're allowed to be. So you can put whatever word you want in there to make it fit your ego, your mind, and your power that you perceive you have. But if you say you're in love with your cat or your wife, your husband, or your dog, how important is it to you to be in that space? When you get up in the morning, who do you see? What do you do when you see them? Say I love you, kiss them, and say goodbye, go to work. Or are you there to play with them all day? What's the story? We create those scenarios, and it builds on how much we say we love somebody. I really love you. So you put a really in front of it. An adjective, a couple adjectives in front of it, make it better. I love you really, really, really. I love you more than anything. What's anything? A baseball bat? Potato? See, when we use the English language, it doesn't fit the emotions and the feelings that it's supposed to relate to. If you take the concept of, well, I love you. Okay, what about me do you love? When you get in a relationship and you talk about that, what can they name about you and what can you name about the other person that relates to your idea or concept of you loving a person? You love the color of their hair, you love the color of their eyes, you love their feet, you love their this, that, and the other thing. Do you love what's inside them? Do you love them for what reason? Do you expect things because you say you love them? All these things magnify and kind of twist and rearrange what love really means. We'll go into those words like unconditional love later. which is to me one of the most ridiculous words there is, but many people use it, accept it, and believe in it. So how important is your relationship right now? If it was going to end in 5 minutes, whatever it was or whoever it was either going to die or leave you, what would you be feeling? Love? Love is a positive thing, and it can be a very, very detrimental thing to you. If something gets hurt and dies and things like that, and it's suddenly taken away, or your dog runs away and you can't find him ever again. There's reasons how love can instantly change within seconds. To say that you're in love, how permanent is love really? So think about that as we move along here. I hope TJ's okay. I don't see it going in yet, but are you looking for love right now? If you are you doing the things to help it manifest? Saying words and putting them out there without doing anything, I'd say it's a mind trip if you believe if I put it out there, it's going to happen. No action, 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 is the critical word no matter what you say, do, or believe. If you love somebody, the action you do will prove it to them. I mean, you could say, I love you, I love you, I love you, and then just kick them. I mean, it's that simple. Words are words, but the actions you create within that manifest and make real the idea of what love's supposed to mean. But here's the thing now. We all have a limited viewpoint of what that is. You can listen to these speakers on love conferences. I went to one. I went to a couple different things. They always try to make you think, and yes, and that's where it should go back to, you. Because if you don't understand it, it's not going to make life easier trying to find it. It's not going to help you when you do find it. Because if you don't know what you're looking for, how do you find it? If you know what you're looking for, how many guidelines and situations did you put into that aspect of what it has to be? I went into that a little bit last week about relationships. It has to be 100% giving, not 98, 97, 50, 50, 60, 40. No, it has to be 100%. For something to work in the right way and the best it can, it has